But in killing myself, I experienced a tremendous loss, and something deep inside rose up that said, I'm not done yet. And this was a tremendous experience for me because I didn't know when I would set my mind in motion to do something, I understood the consequence, and I was willing to die for it. I was willing to live for that to the ultimate. I think in youth it might be a little easier because you really don't know any different. But then, you get beat up a few times and you realize, hey, can I recover from this? And do I want to live a life not being able to recover from the consequences of my actions, of what I've set myself up in opposition to? And I think of all this when I hear these arguments, you know, for one type of philosophy or another type of perspective or another stance or posture. I think of all this stuff like, this is child's play. You want to kill yourself? Kill yourself. But don't pretend you're doing anything other than killing yourself because it's not going to fix anything. But that's based on my experience, and I always hold out in mind that I don't know it all. I've come to understand that doors are open to some people that are not open to others. We have our own life destiny, so to say. Though even the idea of destiny is coming under question recently. But for me, my idea is that the sensation of awe and wonder in the magic of life is a fruit and a flower not to be mistreated, but cultivated. That's why I think a lot of art and a lot of artists are just therapy. They're just processing their negative tendencies, and it's not true art. It's just therapy. It's art is therapy. They're working out a lot of their stuff inside of them, and they're not really realizing they're grasping desperately at keeping the hope alive. And when I see somebody like this, I treat them very respectfully because they're not somebody to be demeaned or thought of as less than. They're somebody going through one of the death throes. It's the last gasp, and I've had a few of those experiences, and something rose up inside of me that was so transcendent of the person before, and the person before who I was before this experience, I lost. A tremendous sense of loss. It died in a lot of ways, and I realized, this goes for a good story, tells a good story, but this is something I'm living and I'm experiencing. And when I see someone else doing that, they're Auseinandersetzung. They're coming to terms with it, and the ultimate price is to die to it, to die for it, and arise again, anew, transfigured, metamorphosed. The worm dies to the butterfly. It's just really interesting because I'm experiencing this stuff all the time. However, I'm very conscious, and I can describe it, and I can talk to it. I can talk about it, and I can share it. I'm not deluded by certain things, though I have been in the past. One of the things I've been deluded by is my image of love. And through the death process and rebirth process, I've realized that I really limit it. I really put all these fixed and set fast limitations upon it by my definitions and my terms and my phrases and my conditions I place on it. And by putting those definitions and terms, I actually cause my own death. I am the cause of my own suffering. Because when somebody comes up outside of me and they're causing me to suffer, I realize, you know, you got the choice, I got the choice, we have to deal with this, so it is. It's just that's the way it is. It's sort of like when the wave comes, you know. There was an example. People who live by the ocean, you know, and play in the ocean and stuff, and big wave comes, you know. So imagine you're walking by the ocean and you're enjoying the waves, just small waves lapping up against you and your feet, and feeling the sand under your toes, and then all of a sudden a large wave comes, and you look, it's right there. What do? Well, many people who aren't that used to it will run from it, and they'll just get smashed into the sand. When the right movement is to turn, face it, and dive head first right into it. You're going to get soaked either way. So I have this respect for these people who are setting themselves up in opposition. But I find it very, very interesting that people can't recognize in another person when they will go to their death for what they believe in, for what they are experiencing. And I realize that there's a lot of people that have really repressed what death is. It's an end, you know. I mean, they'll imprint into their mind all these autosuggestions about that it's something else beyond, which is fine. But they discount the living experience for this otherworldly afterlife experience. And it just seems an insult to life. It doesn't seem to me very smart. And so when somebody gives me a hard time, I think to myself, you know, do you have a death wish? Because ultimately we have to take responsibility for our own choices and our free will to choose. And I realize that there's a lot of people that just are not aware of this. And how do you get aware of it? Well, through loss, through that near-death experience. And such is life. Just really interesting to me. So I guess it's fun, you know, to pose arguments in here, and people freely choose to read the book. They can put it down at any time they want. However, if I was to share something, it would be more like along the terms of what I'm doing here, is that, you know, yeah, sure, those are all perspectives, but that's all they are. And we develop sometimes very slowly. And, you know, we can reach old age and never get it. Or be like me, I'm 40 something and I'm thinking I could get dementia. I'd lose it all. You know? And just be a babbling fool. So for me, it's bringing the utmost of my being at this moment here now. Because who knows? Have a great day.